we need.
Let's have a kiki.
I want to have a kiki.
Lock the doors. Right. Let's have a kiki.
All right, are you ready to have a Kiki? Let's do it. I'm Carly, and this is Kiki with Carly. We're with my awesome, amazing co-hosts. We got Megan, and we got Gabby. Well, this episode, we're gonna do a recap of all things Salt Lake City. I don't know about y'all, but this new series has just been, it's been epic.
Coming in hot.
Honestly, I'm impressed.
And so we really can't have a Kiki without having a signature drink. And in honor of our new favorite Bravo franchise, we are making a salty bitch. You want to take us through it?
I will. So I'm not just the alcoholic, I'm going to be the bartender today. So we've got all of our supplies right here. And as you guys know, you are what you drink. So we're going to have some salty bitches today.
I'm feeling extra salty today.
Oh, okay, perfect.
yeah.
So we're going to start out by just doing a little salt side rim there. Roll it in the salt. Get it on there. Maybe it looks like some Salt Lake City snow.
Oh, some pow-pow? Is that what they call it? Yeah.
Pow-pow.
Pow-pow.
Fresh pow-pow.
Fresh pow-pow.
It's a bluebird day.
When they were talking about the snow in Salt Lake City, I was like, wow, it
I
sounds beautiful.
don't know about y'all, I wanted to be there, but.
Oh, I would have really liked
So our glasses are all rimmed up. Why are you laughing?
It's a technical term.
So we're gonna start out with, we're gonna do 2-to-1 ratios. So we'll do 2 of the tequila, because of course, that's the most important part. So we'll do the big side of tequila.
Because you can't be salty without tequila.
Right,
what I
definitely.
Can we just comment on how Lisa talked about her company names?
Oh my God, I
Oh my
can't.
gosh, so many times.
Vita Tequila.
Vita tequila.
Hola Tequila.
I love it.
I mean, that's literally all she has, so.
And then we'll
That
do
was so bad.
1 portion of Aperol, our old friend from last time.
Hey, old friend. How you doing? Where you been?
Okay, then we got some orange bitters, because we also, if you're salty, you're probably a little bitter as well.
They go hand in hand.
And we'll do 3 dashes of that in each of these guys.
What is bitters exactly?
It's bitter.
Okay.
We're gonna get some of this.
We didn't say
water
she was an
out.
expert
Right.
bartender.
Whoa, calm down here. Now we can get that more.
You can Google that.
Dash of salt to make it extra salty.
Ooh.
I'm feeling extra salty today.
Some more. Okay. And then top it off with some soda water. We're just gonna do little half pours because I didn't have as much ice as I planned for. Beep. And we don't need it to be too weak. And here you go, ladies.
Thanks.
Give them a try.
Ooh, cheers.
And just lie if they're bad.
Yeah, delicious.
Ooh, salty.
Strong?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
Mhm.
Salty.
Hey. Well,
Bitch.
they fit you guys.
Bitch. Okay, well, thank you for mixing that up for us. Let's get into it. So, first of all, what were your first thoughts of Salt Lake City? We did our whole video on it. I feel like we gave some pretty good dirt, and I gotta say, they were very entertaining.
Yeah.
So good. So, what are your first thoughts? Let's start with you.
I would say it was different than like I expected. It's good to not judge a book by its cover because I feel like going into it, like I had a whole different perception of Jen, and I thought some of them were going to be boring, and I don't really think anybody's boring on this cast. I mean, there's the 2 girls that look exactly the same, but they're both bringing different energies.
But
So
if they
I'm into
were
it.
one person, extraordinary.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. What a fair point.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Right.
I really liked how they all had a story. And they were very honest about it. You know, because sometimes I feel like, you know, housewives, they go nameless, go on the show and act like everything is just perfect. And then later we find out their lives just holding on by a safety pin, right? So it was just really refreshing. And also they came in hot. Like, I hope they don't melt the snow over there, but I'm here for it.
Yeah. I did hear that Jen was like a fan of Housewives before this, so you can
I
kind of
think
tell
so,
like
yeah.
she's coming in with like her stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's probably one of my favorites, and I love her relationship with her husband and like the 2 boys. I think they're cute.
I'm interested to know what a FaceTime marriage looks like. And
just
I'm
being
actually
real.
not mad about
Yeah.
that. I mean,
Just being real.
she does her, he does him. Like, she had a party at her house, and he didn't even know.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. Recaps that everybody seemed pretty real.
Yes.
I think that there's a lot of diversity, really, too, which is kind of ironic being in Salt Lake City because it's not most diverse climate.
Right.
Well, and just in their storylines, they all know each other in some way because it feels maybe like a little bit of a small town, but they all have like very interesting, different maybe backstories or like family lives.
Yeah.
It's so interesting for like a housewife show for religion to be like such a conversational thing, because like, I mean, we know like Ramona's Catholic and maybe some of them like go to mass or something. Ramona had like the true religion story, so we knew that. But yeah, I mean, it's like a big part of their backstories, but it doesn't seem to be like a big fighting part, except for like the Mormons that think that they're like.
I also want to do a poll where we see how many times they say Mormon.
Oh.
Because we try to do a drinking game with this word,
Endless.
but there's no way. Like they said it so many times that we would get alcohol poisoning at that point. So we didn't do that. Don't do that. But I'm just curious to know how many times they said it. Fun fact. All right. Well,
Too many.
First thing I want to acknowledge is the word chalet. It was said so much because I had never heard what a chalet or a chalet, as they call on the show, what the hell that was. I literally had to Google it because literally had no idea. And this is the definition. A chalet is a wooden house or cottage overhanging eaves, which I don't even know what eve is, but I'm here for it. So, because a cottage.
You should point that out in a house as you're touring it someday.
Yeah.
Those are very reminiscent of a chalet.
I feel like I want to use this word all the time, and I'm very appreciative that I got to use a word and Google something, because I always love that.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
And then we're going to talk about Mary talking about her arranged marriage, aka married her step-grandfather. What are y'all's thoughts? I'm so curious.
I kind of liked how obviously it was the talk leading up to it, and then she just sort of talked about it so black and white. It became almost like a non-discussion. She's so used to it being a big story. She's just not even here for it. She's like, yep, here's what happened.
I kind of feel like my take is on it, like here is the universe, and then here is Mary, who's basically like Pluto, who lives in her own world and just has her own thing going on. She's like, I thought Ramona was pretty far removed, but I think Mary kind of takes a cake.
Yeah,
to be honest. Like she's like oblivious, and I like how she handles it. She's just like, oh, it's a non-issue. Why is that an issue for you?
Yeah.
Very gaslighty, like true housewife style was to gaslight the shit on something, and she came through for that. So I thought it was very interesting, and I also thought her husband was going to look much older. Yeah. Not to say he was not old looking. He just, you know, whenever you hear somebody's, I was in my head had a different picture. So. It was very interesting.
I thought he looked pretty cool. My new favorite thing to talk to non-Bravo fans about is to tell them this backstory and be like, so what's your price? How much would it cost for you to...
What a good opener.
Right. It's like, oh, hi, I'm Gabby. Nice to meet you. Anyway, have you heard of this Bravo show? So I've been asking a lot of people. People have like all kinds of different numbers. And then I asked one man and he was like, I mean, does she seem happy? And I was like, no, she doesn't really seem happy. And he's like, well, then I wouldn't do it. Like, for all of the money in the world, like, what's all of that money worth if you're not happy? And I don't know, just from the couple of episodes, like, she does not seem like a happy person.
I don't know if
it was worth it.
I feel like she, like I said, she lives in her own world. It's just so, here's like the world and there's her just kind of floating around there. And I thought she was just like, and I love how Whitney was like, oh, everybody knows about this. So like this is, obviously this is major T for us, but it's obviously in the community. It's a topic of discussion. Obviously, it's not something, you know. This is the first housewife.
I hope she's happy. It does seem like she maybe is buying things to be happy. The way she talks about her like coats and things, it seems like maybe you are fulfilling other areas.
I gotta say, she definitely is giving Giselle a run for her money on Worst Race Housewife. Even though it's like so expensive, like.
I mean, what was
money can't buy a class?
And the classic, even Louis Vuitton makes mistakes.
Even Louis Vuitton makes mistakes. Louis Vuitton. So another big talking point was, speaking of Mary not being happy, her talking to Jen and telling her that she smelled like hospital. First of all, like not a hospital, just hospital, like period. So how do we feel about that?
I feel like it was a TikTok video. It's like, it's the hospital smell for me.
Yes. It's so rude. I mean, even if you didn't know that she was coming from a hospital, you just don't say that to someone.
Right.
You know I don't even know what a hospital necessarily means by it, but you know it's not meant to be nice.
No. It was mean. And I get it that like she has her own things. What did she say? She went and got all of her sweat glands removed or something? I think that's what she said to us
That's-
during the
yeah.
hospital. Which, I mean, I don't understand. But it's just rude. I mean, Jen did say 10 times that like her aunt had just had her legs removed, which is horrendous.
A double amputee,
Oh, that's
yeah.
absolutely like so traumatizing. But I kind of wanted to be like, Jen, you can say this until you're blue in the face. Mary does not care. She's
She
doubling
literally-
down.
Again,
she
not
does
care.
not.
She's on Pluto. She
She's
does
on
not
Pluto.
care.
She's
Where
like,
there's
I'm
no
sorry, I
hospital
offended
smell.
you.
Yeah.
Did I offend you? Not
She's like,
really.
I have a sensitive nose.
Right, and then she brought over the friend, and then
Yes.
was like, "Get out of here! Who brought you over
You're
here?"
not in this.
Yeah, so that was disgusting. So that really made me think like Mary is the villain. I thought Jen was going to be like the drama starter, but no, I think it's Mary. I don't
I
like
think
her.
Jen's just maybe a little louder, but she's
Yeah.
not the villain.
I think she's fun.
She is just like the head HBAC.
Yes.
Let's
Yeah.
be real. Like she is definitely probably the star of the show. It's all about her. Kind of like transitions me to the next topic was, I mean, throwing Meredith a birthday party, basically for herself.
When the producers ask her, what do these dancers have to do with Meredith? And she goes, nothing. At least you're self-aware, I guess, a little bit.
She's like, "Shut up! We all know this party was about me, but can we just not talk about it?" I
mean,
loved it. I thought
clearly.
it was
I mean,
so
I thought it was
funny.
a fabulous party. I would love to be there.
fun.
And then little Raquel comes in and she's like, "Happy birthday!"
Someone equating that to Raquel was
Oh.
the funniest thing I've ever
The
seen.
Raquel.
All I can see now.
Bless Raquel.
Yeah.
All I can see.
She's like, honey, my birthday was in October.
That party looked like it was so fun though.
It looked lit.
I was into it.
I
Like
was
the
fun.
red carpet moment where they're all like walking up. I'm like, this is fun.
And also like, how am I going having parties without shirtless men? How is this a thing? You know.
At that
Party's
same
going.
party, too, though, how do we feel about when Whitney is confronting Lisa about the donated tequila? Which I will say it is a donation. When she said, if someone asks you for your tequila at a party and you own the tequila brand, they're asking for a donation.
Right.
Right.
But she is still annoying.
It was a donation, but also it sounds like those bartenders were horrendous.
Yes.
Like
When they
she was
showed the
cleaning up
footage,
glass,
yeah.
they stole like some of their own bar. Like bartenders should always be sober.
There you
I
go.
learned it last week. But no, I thought that was.
Yes.
I think she got way too offended by that. Like she should have just taken it and been like, "Oh my god, that's horrible. I'll never
Yeah.
use it again." Like that's.
She took that
Could've
so
been easy.
personally. Like I was like, "Why? Whoa, whoa!" And I thought she handled it like she was like, "Hey."
Yeah.
Whitney handled it well.
Whitney
yeah.
handled it well. She's like, "Hey, like I'm so grateful." I also really didn't like her response. Was like, "Well, if somebody gives you a Chanel necklace and you choke on the necklace, it's not my fault."
I thought it was
I was like, "That is such a weird."
That's like apples to orange. I mean, it's just
It's so
totally
weird,
different.
like-
it's not even the same thing.
I gotta
Right.
say,
I think she's
I,
into some kinky stuff. Like, why are you trying to swallow necklaces?
who are you hanging out with? Like,
oh, you thought you meant like eat it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I didn't. It really didn't make a lot of sense. But I just really. She may be my least favorite of them. I just don't like how
Yeah.
dismissive. I thought she totally like snubbed Heather, which I love Heather. So you mess with Heather, you mess with me. Okay. I'm here for Heather.
She is high and mighty.
She is totally, and I think she was super. She took it so personally, but I think I do love how Whitney was like, "Oh, well, because you're so on top of things, you would want to know." Like a little dig. So I'm here for your girl. That
She's
was great.
good.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I thought so.
And I mean, what do we think about her? I really like hearing everybody's story, especially like Whitney's, because she was married, her husband was married, they had an affair, and then they got excommunicated from the church, which it sounds like her church was a really big deal to her. So being excommunicated was, like, I'm sure, life-changing for her. So I don't know. I thought that was really, she's like one of my favorites on the show because she's very authentic. I like how she's real. Her whole story is pretty great.
I liked how she said too when a cousin came to her vow renewal and was like, "Oh, I'm so happy for you now. I didn't think it would last."
Yeah.
And she's just real about it. She's like, "Well, I appreciate that, but also, where were you 10 years ago?
Yeah.
That's just rude." It's just I appreciate that she really is like true to herself.
Yeah, and she's having a great time. She's like, her stripper skills, I'm here for it, girl. Get it. Looking great.
Looks great.
She looks great. I'm here for it.
Heather, she was married to her ex-husband now, which I also give Heather a lot of props because it does sound like in this situation to divorce somebody who comes from such a huge family and so much money, it's like, no, good for you. Like you did what's good, like right for you in
He
that
must have been
situation.
a really bad husband.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy, but it was wild because then this got me looking a little bit more and I went into a whole Wikipedia article on Howard Hughes. And when he passed away, they like never had a will for him. He was such a recluse, and so somebody found a will and it wasn't even real. And so then they like couldn't prove that it was him. So then they just gave his money to like the top 40 executives in his companies, and her ex-husband's family is who got a huge chunk of that fortune.
The gays.
Yeah.
Because he was the driver.
He was their driver / like henchman, I think it said.
And
I did not look up what a
makes a
henchman
lot
might
more
be.
sense.
yeah, I didn't know. There's a lot of Googling going on this first
people.
time.
Sorry, Caitlin,
But
Jenner.
he moved up in the company,
Yeah.
so by the time he passed away, he was now like senior VP and something we all know a bit more.
Yeah. It was a very interesting. I'm just saying, like they have very interesting stories.
It
Like,
was cool.
I'm like here for it. I love people with a little character. So I think.
I mean, the article called it the Mormon Mafia.
Oh.
They were known around, so I don't know.
my
It sounds
gosh.
like there's some more interesting stuff.
I feel
there.
like we need more like gangster shit on Housewives. I mean, as
That's
a
why
lover,
Dorinda was so good.
I like Dorinda. She's the original. She's the OG gangster.
Yes.
Like she's gangster boo. Like I'm scared of some Dorinda.
Brooks. I mean, I think at the beginning we were all like, "Why is this kid coming home from college?" But like,
Gosh, so good.
he's hilarious.
He's the
so
true.
funny.
He is the true MVP of the whole show.
His one-liners are awesome. Like he was so smart to come home because he's just gonna blow up after this.
Oh, yeah.
I love the part where Jen was over and was like wasted, like kicking her legs up. Did you guys see that?
I think that's on the new
Yeah.
secret third episode that came out.
No, see that.
And he was like, I can see your vagina or something.
She's literally like saying that they're gonna have a slumber party and do high kicks, and she's like, grinder, 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 and he's like, this is rude.
Yeah.
It's like, get that thing away from
I will
me.
say Gen Z is going to put us all in our place.
He's so funny. I loved it when he was putting out the rose petals, and she's like, it looks like a Prince music video, and he's like, I don't know who that is.
I also like, okay, this kind of goes into the next topic because like I thought it was really weird that her son was putting out the rose petals.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then we find out that they're actually separated.
Yeah.
So I just was really confused by this whole like, are they together? They're not together? Like,
I mean,
It was
what's
awkward.
the poll on someone saying, I want to look through your entire phone? Is that the level of transparency you're supposed to have?
I would let, if I was dating somebody, I would let them, but I also learned early on in life, like I don't want to ask questions and I want to know the answers too. So
I would want to know the answers.
yeah, I sometimes probably don't.
I would want
Yeah.
them to let me, but I wouldn't really want to do it.
I really wouldn't want to read them. They're probably kind of boring, to be honest, in most
Yeah.
relationships. But also, like, I don't think I want to read all your messages.
I
If you want to read them, you know there's something bad.
Well, you know that she's definitely.
well, she
They're
clearly
separated.
was.
They were
Yeah,
on a break.
they're separated. Well, I mean, he was working in Chicago and she was still here, so I think that was pretty clear that they. I don't know. It was.
Yeah.
And then I mean, obviously they go on and he's like, "Hey, why have you not told? Have you told anybody?" She's like, "No, I haven't told anybody," which I thought was
That's
kind of weird.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
She's over it though. I mean, she is like.
She's done.
She's
Wasn't
done.
she saying she's like, we got married young?
Yeah, she was
we
setting
did the
the
whole
tone.
thing, and now she's like,
I'm over it.
She
Over it.
cheers to fun.
yeah, she was like, can we
What an
please-
awkward freaking cheers! Like, let's cheer to fun.
Cheers to fun.
I get
Cheers
it,
to
though.
fun.
Yeah, you know, cheers to fun.
Fun.
Not this relationship.
Oh.
But I get it though, especially if you're trying to make something work and every conversation has to be so damn heavy. It's like, can we just have fun again?
Yeah.
Like, I'm over this.
That's
So,
very true.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to watch. I feel bad for him.
Yeah. No, he'll be fine. I'm sure.
He'll be fine.
Okay, so this part we're gonna do a little bit different of That's My Opinion. We're just gonna do freestyle here.
That's my opinion!
Who's your favorite housewife? We'll start with you.
Ooh,
For Salt Lake City.
stealing it. Jen.
Shut up.
I'm gonna say Heather Rose.
Nice.
I'm gonna say Whitney
Hey,
Rose.
Yeah.
They're cousins, yeah. All right, I love it. Okay, whose closet would you want to raid first?
Oh, I just want those big pink shoulder boobs.
Meredith?
I guess that's Meredith.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't tell them apart.
That's true. Meredith and Lisa look like twins, and they acknowledged that in the first episode because I was so confused. What about you?
I like Jen.
Jen?
It's a good one.
I'm gonna say Whitney. She's my favorite.
Oh my
She's
gosh.
cute.
Oh wait, no, I'm gonna say
Jen.
Jen. I'm sorry for West
Yeah.
Coast Jen for sure. Sorry, I got confused. I confused myself. Okay, which housewife gets on your nerves so far?
Lisa.
Mary.
Oh,
Ooh, Lisa. It's Lisa
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Which is bad. Like, Lisa's a great housewife name. She's really ruining it.
She's
she'll
not
come.
likable at all.
She'll get it when she sees herself back.
Hopefully. Who's the biggest shit starter?
It might be. My hot take is it's definitely going to be Heather. I think long term, Heather like kind of sits back. She acts really cool.
Yeah, she's the sneaky.
She pokes it.
She's sneaky.
Mary.
Oh, she's a good one.
I think Jen. I think Jen has an opinion about everything, and she's gonna tell you all about it.
Yeah, she's the obvious.
She'll be great at the show.
She's gonna be great. She's gonna do a great job. Okay, who would you want to go out partying with?
Oh, Sundance Queen, Lisa.
I'm gonna say Heather Rose.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I would say Heather.
Sugar Bowls.
Also, I do want to touch on the Sundance Queen because I was doing a deep dive because I'm so dialed in now to all the blogs, and Katie from Vanderpump Rules went on a rant basically saying how she's from Utah, from Salt Lake City, how nobody knows who Lisa is, so it's kind of smoke and mirrors. Like, she's like, don't drink the Kool-Aid because she's not that big a thing as she thinks she's. And I can actually, she seems a little delusional, where she probably thinks like she's that important.
Yeah.
She has all the tequila companies.
Yeah. Someone saying like, oh, I'm a South by Queen. I South by Southwest. I can to every party.
No, girl. Would you be upset if somebody said you smelled like a hospital?
Yeah.
Yes, that's so rude. I hate
Yes,
that.
I don't even know how a hospital smells, but I think that's rude.
I think of like bedpans. It's gross.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm glad we're all in agreement with that one. Okay, what is worse, K on a text or a thumbs up? Like, what's a bigger FU?
One thumb or two thumbs?
Is there a
One
difference?
thumb. I think it was one thumb.
Oh,
Well, there it is.
I think one thumb is worse than two.
Ooh. I think K is like the worst. Like, I feel like that's the most passive
Yeah.
aggressive shit anybody can pull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get super upset about that.
It's
K is
K for
bad.
me as well.
K, it's K for me. Okay.
It's bad.
And do you think Meredith came on the show to get divorced?
Ooh.
I mean, I think it might have, for her, it might be an easier conversation than having to literally tell her friends she's getting divorced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
It
know.
might be easier to have it on the show.
I mean, and the good thing about her getting divorced is that she's gonna have guys slide in her DM. So, you know, there's gonna be other opportunities out there. So that's good.
I think she really
Gotta
didn't come on the
advertise
show to be divorced, but she was probably like, I really want to be on the show, and like, oh well.
I could lose a husband.
Yeah, she's like, well, I'm losing him anyway, so might as well do it on the show.
Yeah. Make that money, girl.
That's my opinion.
Let's have a kiki.
I want to have a kiki.
Lock the doors. Hey, let's have a kiki.
All right. Well, that's our
That's my
opinion.
opinion.
That's our opinion. Again, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on Instagram. I mean, I'm just scouring the internet all the time, giving you content. Follow us on TikTok and subscribe and like our page. Thank you. But last but not least, Shotsky time.
Shotsky.
Oh, shit. 1, 2, 3. Oh, so good. Oh wait, let's just go.
Let's have a kiki.
I want to have a kiki.